I honestly think that the Islam JDM fight is not gonna be close, and it's gonna be a really quick and decisive fight. I think Islam is gonna win, and I think he's gonna dominate actually. Because I was watching the Gilbert Burns matchup of JDM versus Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns out-grappled JDM easily. Like, Gilbert Burns could take down JDM at will, as much as he wanted. And it was a really close fight, you know? And if I'm honest, if Gilbert Burns can do this to you, what would Islam do? And it's not only the takedowns, because of course you could say, yeah, Gilbert got takedowns, but he couldn't do anything with it. But that's not true. Gilbert Burns could take the back of JDM multiple times. And of course Gilbert Burns cannot finish JDM, because Gilbert Burns cannot finish anyone. He is not really dangerous in the grappling when it comes to MMA. You know, he never finishes anyone with his grappling. But Islam can finish people with his grappling. So Gilbert Burns is old. He's not a good fighter. But he has the ability to take down JDM, and he has the ability to take the back of JDM. What do you think Islam can do with JDM, you know? Islam is like a million times better, you know? And I really believe that JDM cannot stuff the takedowns of Islam. And even in the striking, okay, I saw Gilbert Burns hit JDM with slow, sloppy overhands, like an overhand right that landed like in the second round. And I was thinking like, dude, how can you get hit by that? You know? Because this is Gilbert Burns, okay? He's like 40 years old. He shouldn't even be in the UFC right now. Like, not at all. Yes, and I just think like Islam has 10 times better takedowns than Gilbert Burns. You have to imagine Islam doesn't only have the standard single and double legs, he also has judo trips. So he just trips you. He pushes you against the wall, he just trips you. And when it comes to the ground, he always looking for a finish, okay? He's not the ground and pounder like Khabib. He's more of a finisher. So his ground and pound is not really his style, which is why I don't think he's gonna use it. Maybe a little bit in the first round, but I think he's gonna finish JDM on the ground, and relatively easily. So I don't see this as a close matchup, and I don't care how much takedown defense JDM practices. It won't make a difference, you know, because some people say like, oh, but he's training with Craig Jones, and like Craig Jones, like the Dagestani killer, you know, because like Volkanovski had Craig Jones in his corner when he fought Islam. Yeah, but he lost that fight, you know. Volkanovski came in with lighter weight skill, and he lost the fight against Islam. And it was not even close, you know. I think it was a 4-1. So some people say it was robbery, complete bullshit. And Islam could take down Volkanovski. Like, if I remember correctly, in the first round, he had the back of, in the first fight, he had the back of Volkanovski for 2 rounds. Okay? And fair enough, he couldn't choke Volkanovski because Volkanovski doesn't have a neck, but he could take him down. So I don't see how Craig Jones is gonna help like that much, you know. And I think that first of all, Islam is more skilled than JDM, okay, because he's a lighter weight class. Like, it's just the fact that he's more skilled, and he has way better grappling. It's not even close, okay? It's not even close. And some people say, yeah, but JDM could stuff the takedowns of Belal Muhammad. And I'm just thinking like, dude, Belal Muhammad is like 38 years old, welterweight, okay? He has nothing on a 33-year-old Islam Makhachev, nothing, okay? Even to make this comparison, some people say so, surely, yeah, like, Islam is not gonna be able to take down JDM. And I'm thinking, like, why? Who has JDM really fought? He fought, like, who? Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad. These are his only, like, 2 wins, right? Like, 2 wins that I see as really important. And I have to say, like, Bilal Muhammad is a good win, but I just don't see, like, first of all, this fight, Bilal against JDM, it was a good fight, good job of JDM, but it wasn't like a domination, right? Like, of course, like, JDM won, but not in a dominating fashion, okay? So it's not like crazy, right? It's a good win, but you know what I mean? You know what this whole situation reminds me of? This reminds me of Islam against Oliveira. Because many people said, yeah, Oliveira is just too much for Islam. You know, Oliveira is too good. And then it's a domination. And Islam chokes out Oliveira in the 3rd round. And I think this is going to be a similar situation. I think the MMA world is going to be going crazy after Islam wins in a dominant fashion. And they're going to absolutely shit on JDM. They will say, like, yeah, JDM, he was never that good, you know? Like, he's not even a real fighter. Islam should fight a real fighter. They will shit on him, you know? Now they will say, yeah, JDM beats Islam. And after that, they will say, no, Islam is not even a good win, you know? JDM is not even a good win. I know it, you know? I absolutely know it. And for me, obviously, stuffing takedowns against Bilal Muhammad does not prove to me that you're going to be able to stuff takedowns against Islam Makhachev, you know? Like, it's a completely different ball game. Completely different, absolutely. So, what I think, how this fight is gonna go is that... Oh, one thing I just wanted to say. Some people say, yeah, but if Dustin Poirier can hit you in the 4th round, imagine what JDM can do. Okay, first of all, the majority of the fight, Islam dominated. If I'm not mistaken, he outstruck Dustin in every single round, okay? You make like a couple of moments, you make it seem like, oh, like it was close. No, it wasn't. JDM lost like 2 rounds against Gilbert Burns. JDM got taken down like 6 times against Gilbert Burns, okay? So chill out a little bit. It's not that deep, you know? And also, Dustin Poirier is not a bad fighter. He's a natural lightweight, okay? Dustin Poirier, I'm gonna say something crazy, is absolutely better than Gilbert Burns, okay? Absolutely, 100%. No one can tell me otherwise. And now tell me, who won in a more dominant fashion? Islam against Dustin or JDM against Gilbert? Because for me, the Gilbert fight looked a little bit, you know, like just a little bit close. I mean, stop with this bullshit, you know? Stop with this bullshit. And also, look, Dustin Poirier has no power. So the game plan that Islam has obviously is gonna be different than the game plan that you're gonna have for JDM. Because look, if you have a fighter in front of you that doesn't have power, maybe it is included in the game plan that you're gonna get hit a little bit, you know? Like, of course you're gonna fight different against JDM who has power, you know? So even these comparisons are super stupid. Absolutely. Completely stupid. And people say, yeah, but JDM gets better every day, you know? But Islam also gets better. I mean, here I cannot see the age of these gentlemen. Why can I not see the age? But anyway, what I can say is that both of these men are in their prime. And I know that they are improving. And like, what I think is gonna be this. So, the first round starts. These gentlemen will touch each other a little bit. They're gonna like feel each other out a little bit. But eventually, JDM is gonna push forward. Islam is gonna counter-strike. And the moment that JDM is too far in Islam's face and Islam doesn't like what he sees, he's gonna take down JDM with ease. And I think maybe the last 3 minutes of the first round, Islam is just gonna ground and pound him a little bit, attempt some submissions, but nothing serious, you know. Maybe he's gonna choke him a little bit just to make JDM like, to make him think about the submissions. But I think the first round is gonna be clear Islam. Islam is gonna keep it on the ground, and I think JDM is not gonna be able to stand up. And in the second round, I think these gentlemen are gonna strike, and I think JDM, after he felt the power of Islam on the ground, he's gonna be a little bit hesitant. Islam is gonna like attempt some takedowns, but not really, just to make JDM think about it. And this, in the end, will make JDM's striking worse, because he's like thinking about the takedown. And during this time, I think Islam is gonna be able to land some good strikes. Maybe at the end of round 2, JDM is gonna find also some good strikes against Islam, but Islam's defense will save him here. And I think that round number 2 would be more even. Maybe at the end of the round, Islam's gonna go for the takedown, maybe in the last minute or 2. And I think he's gonna keep JDM there as well. Okay. And again, we will see ground and pound, some submissions, like submission attempts. And then when we go to the third round, so now JDM is down 3-2, and his coach is gonna tell him, hey, you have to step on the gas now, we have to see something, you have to win now, you're 2 down. So JDM is gonna go forward right into a takedown, into like a perfectly executed double leg takedown. And we will see that JDM is attempting to get up as fast as possible and is gonna find himself in a Darce choke, and not Darce choke, in a I would say like maybe a neck crank or a Darce choke, and he's gonna get submitted. I think a submission in the third round. And I really think the way I described right now, it's gonna be at the end, because I think you can submit JDM, you know, I think he can do it. I'm really interested about this fight, and I'm really interested about hearing all the people cope that are saying, like, yeah, JDM is gonna beat him easily, you know? Like, I really want to see that. But yes, I'm so excited for this fight, and people hate me for liking Islam, but to be honest, I like Islam, you know? He's maybe my favorite fighter, because he's just cool. He always finishing fights. He always goes for a finish. He's approaching GOAT status. Like, I like him, you know? And I also like JDM, but I just think that Islam is gonna be the clear favorite here. But yeah, let's see how the fight's gonna go. The most important fight this year, and one of the most important UFC fights in history.